And if it's easier, you can go 10 to 5 to 3 to 1. You're done. Give you about another minute.
Just enjoy the lo-fi vibes.
Remember, this is just for today. You're not having your values tattooed on you after this.
But you could.
Interesting idea. How much do you believe?
Be like, what are we doing? Okay.
Okay. I think it looks like everybody's just about there. So you might look at this list, go back for a second, and say, okay, I get it that some of these are good for my personal life, but are they really all for leadership at work? And the answer is yes. So one example of this is fun. How can having fun be a leadership attribute? Well, think about it. It can ease tension with appropriate humor during high pressure moments. It can build team morale and improve engagement by making work more enjoyable. My favorite is thinking fun encourages creative thinking, and it can remove some boundaries. And finally, when you're being fun and you're living your personal value, you humanize leadership to be more relatable and approachable. Okay, so I believe everyone did the exercise and they now have their number one that we're using. It doesn't have to be the most important, it can be, but it could just be one that you're choosing for this exercise. You have these questions in your worksheet, and what I want you to do is think about that one value that you picked. And it's really just like a yes or no answer if you're thinking right now. Does this value help you grow? Does it help you reach the next level? Does it bring you closer to being the leader you want to be? I'll give a moment for you to think on that. I'm going to make this even more intense. Does this value radically impact or transform your leadership? Think on that for a moment. And then finally, ask yourself, is this value something that I feel deeply about? Or did you choose it because you think it should be value-based because of external pressure or validation? Now, while everyone's finishing those answers, I want you to start thinking about, for you personally and for everyone, where do values come from? And if we can just take out some turns shouting out answers. Just shout it out. Let's go old school. Anyone, where do your values come from? Any thoughts? Family, yes.
Experience.
Culture.
Community.
Yes, absolutely.
Church.
Religion, church. You guys are gonna see you're getting everything.
Maybe they're innate.
Interesting. You come with your values. I like it.
Trauma or discord?
Oh, trauma or discord. Thank you. Okay. You wanna go to the next one? All right, so, no, not that one.
You're gonna list.
Oh, they, okay. Gotcha. So, our list is very similar to yours. We have society, family.
They will not.
Okay. Society, family, friends, religion, culture, expectations, workplace, education, upbringing and experiences. So if you think I was raised in a family that valued education, it makes sense that I'm in professional development, and my personal value is lifelong learning. So what am I going to be focusing on? How is my personal value of lifelong learning going to help me with leadership? I'm going to do something that they mentioned in the program this morning that Ian said that everyone's doing now, is upskilling. So upskilling comes very much connected to the personal value of lifelong learning. Okay, next slide. So it's really important now to bring something else from how we started the session about the power of PDC is all about a word this morning, which was empowerment. And we're doing this exercise for you to feel empowered, and so that you can go back to your teams and help empower them, but not to judge. So one thing that can start happening when you start looking through that big list that we were looking at before is, I should have that value, but I don't. Avoid shoulding your values. And then you might share your values with someone else, and they might say financial stability, and yet you say, and you don't have that value. Don't judge others for having different values. Let go of guilt or doubt about your own values. The importance is that the goal of this session is self-awareness, not self-criticism. When you understand what your values are, it helps you show up authentically. Authentically, yes. So you might value achievement, and then what you're doing when you value achievement is you're pushing others to do their best work. Another leader may emphasize empathy. So what they're doing is taking the time to understand why someone may have had a less effective week. Still another leader may value proficiency, and they're trying to work with others to create a plan to get more done with less wasted time. None of these values are better than the other, but they do reflect each of our own priorities, and they'll influence the way we lead and interact with others. Okay, now this comes to the fun part. So we want you to start thinking in specifics. You have your one value, and we want you to think about, how do you know when your values are aligned with your actions? How do you see your values influencing your professional work? So essentially, in a minute, I'm going to turn it over to you, but I want you to think of examples where you see your values in your decision-making, in your communication, and in your interaction with colleagues and collaboration. Before I gave you examples of alignment with lifelong learning and growth, and just so you understand, the flip side of a not alignment is an example of a leader whose personal values were honesty and courage, but she also had a fear of hurting feelings. And there was a partner who was being very dismissive to an associate's work and behavior, and she didn't give the feedback right away because she didn't want to hurt the feelings. And then that associate quit. And she realized this was about her avoiding her discomfort, but what she was really doing was not aligned with her values of either honesty or courage. So I'm going to give you a couple of minutes now. Go on your worksheet and try to think about the value you picked and an example from your leadership and your work and your daily life about decision-making, communication, and interactions with colleagues and collaboration. Just like the question came up before, what we really want to discuss with one another is, how do we feel when you're aligned with your values? And then how do you feel when you're misaligned? And I encourage you, if you feel comfortable, looking at how you filled out the sheet and the answers and how you showed up in your decision making, when you thought it worked and when you didn't, and sharing it with the table and having a discussion. And then at the end of the discussion, we'll ask anyone who feels comfortable if they want to share with the bigger group. So I would just say, go for it. Talk amongst yourself and let's tell each other how you feel when you're aligned or misaligned.